All right. We're live for real this time.
Kill
All
the
right, this
weapon
is
variety.
first ever episode of Laugh Out Loud Waypoint. This is Pharmacist, and Ruckus is here with me. Daddy
Daddy
Ruckus. Today's
Yeah.
subject is AR starts versus VR starts, and I think this dichotomy's been going on since the Halo 2 days. And
And don't expect any big words out of me like dichotomy.
dichotomy just means.
I'm gonna keep it simple.
But
I know
the
what
main
it means.
argument I think from the SMG or the AR start side is the main one is it creates variety, and then I guess the main argument from the VR start side is it's the most competitive. So here we'll jump right into it. We're in a thread that somebody started called "Stop Acting Like You're MLG." Ruckus, you want to do me a favor and read it in your best nerdy, angry AR kid voice?
Ooh,
Alright.
I would love to.
To everybody here complaining about AR starts. AR starts are better for Halo 5 than BR. This is because AR starts encourage you to move around and pick up weapons on the map, while a BR you don't need to pick up anything else. Everyone is saying how the BR takes more skill and makes the game so that the best team wins. But if you are seriously the best team, you can win with any weapon and pick up weapons. And if you really just want a basic team versus Team Slayer with no pickup weapons, join a tournament, you nerd. Get a team, join a party, and play a tournament, because saying it the first time wasn't enough. Because the best team doesn't win if you're playing with a bunch of random people.
Oh, and I should point out that he used the wrong form of your. He used your as if to imply that I own a
There
player.
you are. If you
Instead of
yeah,
you
there you
are.
go. Yeah.
Interesting. So, continue. Oh no,
Okay.
I gotta finish the last paragraph. He took the time to write it.
Let's give him
I'm
that
gonna
much
take
at
the time
least.
to read it. So you're wrong form of your again. So you're not playing hardcore MLG player unless you're playing with the team that you're communicating with. And MLG players pick up weapons and know when and where BR spawns on the map, increasing the skill gap. Actually, if you don't
Well,
mind,
let's start with the very
off
beginning.
with this
I
one.
like the first thing we want to do. I think is let's see if this guy. He got 36 likes, so apparently 36 people agree 100% with this statement. But let's look at him first. This is Trio of Kings. You want to look at his stats? I think we should look at his stats. Let's see here.
Let's look at his stats. I'll let you look at that. But right off the bat, I'm just gonna say, this mentality of AR starts, moving people around the map more because you don't have as much range. That was a mentality I used to have back in the early days of, well, not even the early days of the Bungie forums, but back when Halo 3 was still alive. That was something that I used to entertain. I used to be one of those anti-MLG kids. And I should also point out that this kid is incorrect in that MLG Halo doesn't even exist anymore.
I think that's the first point. There's
but
not
yeah,
even
I
an
used to-
MLG Halo anymore, and there hasn't been since Reach.
Yeah, so already they're
All right, so we got Trio of Kings. I'm looking at his
But,
Halo 4 stats. He's got a .85 KD. Now, I mean, I don't know how you can have a negative KD and the easiest Halo game of all time, because it just randomly matches you, but somehow he's got a .85, so he's terrible at Halo. Absolutely terrible. Somehow he's got 131 wins and only 30 losses, so even though he's, like, horrible, like, God love his teammates. God love his teammates that have had to carry him to those wins. He's won 90% of his games with a .85 KD. The poor people that have had to carry him to those victories. Good Lord.
I tell you what, man, he gets carried more than Goofy.
Alright, so let's start with the first sentence. He says, to everyone here complaining about AR starts are better for Halo 5 than the BR. And we played the Halo 5 beta, and from the games that I played, I don't know about you, but what I noticed is at high level, we both were in the pro rank. With the AR starts, it was obviously more campy gameplay, right? And that's what I noticed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Another thing is, especially with aim down sights, That's another thing with the automatic weapons. You know, those increase the range of the AR, which is ultimately the niche that the BR fills anyway. So that's already
Yeah.
a chink in the armor there. You know, if part of your argument is that AR starts with less range, ultimately encourage movement around the map, well, you just added that range back. So
I don't know
what you're
either.
trying to get at
And
with that.
it's the AR obviously is a lower skill gap when you're engaging. So I don't know why you would want that if you're trying to say that it's better. Let's see, the next sentence is, this is because AR starts encourage you to move around the map and pick up weapons, which isn't true again. It doesn't encourage you to move around and pick up weapons. It forces you. You don't have a choice. You're going to have to find something to compete with, and if you can't, let's say you spawn in a bad area on the map, let's say, or an area with a lot of cover. Let's say you spawn security on the map Eden with ARs. The best decision at that time is probably just to sit there, right? I mean, just sit there and wait for somebody to come by, and it's a free kill because if you get first shot, you've got
That's what I was about to
killed
say.
them. So you're less likely to move around.
Because when the other team picks up their battle rifles, you know, they've got that range. There's no reason for you to go out because you're going to lose every single time. So the only course of action.
And I think the worst part
is,
is, I think, because they're saying that everyone is saying how BR takes more skill and makes the game so that the best team wins. If you're seriously the best team, you can win with any weapon and pick up the weapons. But that's not true. Like, the thing about the BR that makes it great for team games is no matter where you spawn, if you're aware of where your teammates are, you're able to help them because you have a weapon with range. If I spawn with an AR and a teammate calls out a guy on red nest and I'm in blue base, there's nothing I can do about it. It's just, I see him, I see that he's weak, I acknowledge your call out, but I don't have a BR, so I can't help you. And you're completely ineffective as a teammate until you can get a weapon that works at every range. And because you don't have one, it's just, sorry, I can't help you. So, and saying that the team that's better is going to win with AR starts, not really, because the game, let's say if two teams are equal, right? The team that wins the opening rush and gets all the weapons is most likely going to win because you have no chance of fighting back.
especially with AR starts. I mean, that's the whole point of this, is AR starts, once the other team has power weapons, as previously mentioned, your only viable option to not go out and get slaughtered is to basically sit back and hope they come to you. And if they're a good team, they're going to know, hey, we've got the lead. There's no reason for us to push them. Make them push us. So when you have a BR, unless you have a lot of BR spawns in your base, and typically in the beta, I thought there was only 1 or 2 BR spawns per base on AR starts, that's not going to pan out well because only half your team's going to have a BR. And it really doesn't lend itself well to the Halo gameplay when you're essentially crippling yourself right off the spawn. I don't understand where the mentality is that crippling yourself off spawn is inherently a good idea, because the BR isn't a long range weapon. It's a short to medium range. It covers those ranges. So if you get in a short range battle, you can use that. If you get in a medium range battle, you can use that. If you try to go long range, you're not going to have as much success. You can kind of ping them, though.
You can sort of like suppress them, but you're not really going to have a lot of success.
Right, but you're not picking them off like a sniper. So it's not like it keeps you. It's not like it keeps teams in their positions. Like, people can't push out. They can't. They absolutely can't.
Okay, and another thing.
It's just not encouraged, especially in Halo 5 with the open sight lines.
Well, the way the maps are in Halo 5, there's no cover in between these long sight lines, so that's even less incentive to move, even with the BR. But when you don't have a BR, then there's no way you're going to move, because if you get caught out in the open, it's just a free kill for the guy that does have a BR. You have no chance of competing, and I don't like that rock paper scissors gameplay. You should always have a chance to beat the guy that you encounter. You should always have a chance to break a setup, and you can't with AR starts. But let's change subjects. I want to move on.
I will be fair. I do want to be fair to 343. They did seem to get a decent weapon balance.
Yeah, that's a good
They
segue. That's a
honestly
good
did.
segue in what I want to talk about next, because he's the argument that you see all the time of killing variety. I can say, and you can say, that's 100% bullcrap. Because even on BR starts, I was using the SMG, I was using the AR, I was using the Hydra, the sniper, rockets. In fact, that's the one thing I liked about Halo 5 is I was using every weapon. It just happens that the BR is utility, so you use it the most. But if I'm in a close range battle, then I'm going to switch to the SMG every time. No hesitation.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think it just comes down to when you really just pick apart these arguments against the battle rifle. It comes down to they don't want to aim. They just do not want to aim. The assault rifle, it aims
100%.
itself. I mean, the aiming in Halo 5 isn't that. It's not that much better. I mean, it's still kind of auto aiming, but it's a whole lot less so than the AR. The AR is spray and pray, especially with the damage boost and the aforementioned increase in range. So that's another thing that just gets me with these people. I
think the crux of their argument is that they're. It's not that they're dumb, it's that they're just bad. They have a very limited understanding of the depth of Halo. You can look at their stats and see that they're just horrible. Let's move on. I'm done with Trio. I was scrolling down, and then we got Dark Shinobi. Yeah, I've read a lot of his posts. He's got some pretty dumb bombs. And let's see what we got here. We got My Little Bro is the type to pick up the best weapon he can get his hands on. He is the best sniper. First of all, we have no idea who your little brother is. I don't even know why you bring that into an argument. I'm sure if you posted his gamer tag, we'd all laugh. Let's see, he is the best sniper I have ever seen. So I guess his little brother sniped down or something. Bar none, and his favorite weapon is the BR. But despite this, I just had the pleasure of watching him go ham on 2 separate teams with an assault rifle and magnum, with long kill streaks with a sniper. Hello, that should be a sign. If he's getting long kill streaks with a sniper and AR starts, why do you think that is? Of course, they can't compete with the guy with the sniper rifle. It's free kills. According to him,
especially again with the big sight lines and the AR starts.
He says, according to him, AR starts are much funner. Much funner? Is that necessary? And there's also a bigger importance on positioning. Now that's just a flat-out lie. That's the most ignorant statement I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, no.
And if by positioning he means crouching in a corner when you don't have a weapon. The sentence is not only not true, it's the stupidest thing I've ever read. AR starts have no emphasis on positioning. Because you can't hit, you're limited on what you can hit and your angles. You can only hit if it's close range.
You literally have to close with your opponent.
That's stupid.
You have to close with you have to make an attempt to close with your opponent if you're even in the ballpark of killing somebody. Even with the
His next statement is BR starts, he noticed how little people actually move. So nobody goes for the rockets when they spawn. Nobody goes for the sniper when it spawns. Nobody pushes in when people are weak. Okay.
Yeah, I guess we didn't play all those games on.
Yeah, when we played against the pros,
and,
they were we all just stood still, like nothing happened. We just took pot shots for hours.
Yeah,
and by the way, if anybody is watching this,
isn't it?
you can see if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click on the videos against the pro players that we won, and you can see the game with BR starts is anything but campy. It's anything but staying in one place. It's very exciting Halo. Unlike the AR start gameplay I posted that was extremely campy.
And I will admit that I was not a part of most of those videos, if any. However, I do have gameplay against pro players on my channel as well, and that was an AR start game, and you can see how crouchy it is with AR starts. I'll give you guys a little bit of a rundown. Basically, I'm sitting on Carbine, on top of Carbine, and just rotating out between the bubbles, not really moving anywhere. Meanwhile, 2 of my teammates are constantly trying to push them because it's AR starts. What do I see when they do that? Just red X's all day.
Alright, so we got Dark Shinobi. Let's look at his stats. He's got a 1.173 KD, and he loses almost half his games. So we have another person who's extremely horrible, extremely low level at Halo. And when you read the posts, it's funny because they talk like they're just geniuses at Halo, and then you look at their stats, and they're the type of people that run at you with a straight line. And I think that that's why they like AR starts. It increases their chance of getting kills against better players. Because in BR starts, there's no way people like this are able to get kills. There's no way. But let's move on from Dark Shinobi. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling down.
And guys, I think I should stress. I don't know about Farm, but I by no means think that I
Definitely
know
not.
everything about Halo. But a lot of this stuff is just it's just common sense. You know, if you sit down and you actually think about it, it's pretty self-apparent.
We got a smart guy here. It says AR starts promote spawn camping and kill the fun. I mean, I have to agree there. If you have the better weapon, you're gonna win instead of the better player winning, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Let's see, keep scrolling.
Yeah, because AR starts when you have that short-range weapon and you get spawned in. The players that already have their battle rifles and DMRs, they're going to be set up on the map, and guess what? It's not. Oh yeah, I guess it's spawn trapping is what I was saying. I thought you said spawn killing, but I was going to explain the difference between spawn trapping and spawn killing. But
I think that would go over
I think
these
that could
guys'
be a
heads.
different video, honestly. Well, I mean, I'll give a brief rundown, basically. Spawn trapping is when you have a setup on a team. Spawn trapping is the setup. Spawn killing is actually knowing where exactly they're going to spawn.
And
killing
that
them
takes a
immediately.
long time to
And I think you'll
learn,
find
and
that
it
that
takes
doesn't really
coordination, and it's not 100% predictable in a lot of cases. It's like, I think they're going to spawn here. It's
Exactly. And the thing about spawn trapping is it's not a steel death trap. You can get out of the
Oh, here's
spawn.
a good one. Dark Shinobi's got
But,
another
anyway,
awesome
but-
post we have to scroll down to. This one's good. Okay, so apparently we people, I don't know what he means by we people, I guess us MLG kids, even though there's no MLG, are content with making this game stale. And I guess he's quoting us and making fun of us. We don't need other weapons. We like a one-gun game. And again, we've already destroyed that argument. You can watch gameplay against pros. I use the DMR, I use the SMG, I use the AR, I use even the Magnum. I use every weapon. Every weapon is effective in Halo 5. So we've already destroyed that argument. That's just a lie. It says, all you're doing every game is four-shotting. Stop, capital. So he's yelling stop. Probably in a whiny, squeaky voice.
I don't know what he's talking about with the 4-shot.
Yeah,
Mine's
the aiming
7
in this
shot,
game's
so
hard.
I don't know what
Judging by
is.
this guy's KD and win-loss, I think he's getting 4-shotted every game, but I don't think he's 4-shotted anybody in his whole life. Let's see. He says there is not a single person who plays this game who cannot 4-shot consistently. Now I know he's trolling. He's either trolling or he's the stupidest person who's ever posted on Waypoint. Because nobody 4-shots consistently. I play at the highest level. Even I don't 4-shot consistently, and I'm 500 times the player this guy is, and I don't 4-shot consistently. And you're 400 times the player he is, and you don't 4-shot consistently. So he's full of crap.
I'm a 6 out of 10,
Yeah,
baby.
really. Let's see.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't talk about Goofy getting carried when I get carried, but
He's saying the
Even
game
so.
is actually harder, more challenging, and has a ton more depth when you have to work for your weapons. And here's another really poor argument. You
Actually,
work for weapons.
I'll agree with that. Actually, I'll agree with that. The game
Yeah,
is
but
harder.
the crux of
It's
his
harder
argument
to
is that
enjoy.
he's saying
It's hard
that
to
what he's saying,
enjoy.
if you look at this statement, is that when VR starts are there, you don't have to work for weapons, and that's a lie. You have to work even harder. Because let's say, for example, Pegasus, the map where rockets spawn. That is very hard to get rockets on that map.
Oh my
It
god,
takes
the
it
bane
takes
of my
full team
existence.
coordination in VR starts because there's so many angles you have to account for, and it's very risky to run for those rockets. And if your team's not covering you or you're not aware of where everybody is, you're gonna get melted. Now, conversely, you look at AR starts. I mean, if you're in the area, you're probably gonna get the rockets because not everybody has a VR, and they probably won't be able to defend against them. And once you get those rockets, they're more guaranteed kills. Whereas in VR starts, you have to actually think about how you use those rockets because anybody can kill you from any angle. So you have to be a lot smarter about how you use power weapons. That's another thing is with AR starts, you don't have to be as smart with power weapons. Just having it in a lot of cases gives you the win in an encounter, which is not the case in BR starts. And then he says, get our heads out of our yoink. And I don't know what he's referring to there. Seriously, the game got so boring, so I chose to start solely using the AR to make it harder on myself. No, you choose the AR because it's easier. I can't think of a more... He's followed up a stupid statement with even more stupid statements. He's saying that he chose the AR because it's harder than VR. I think everybody that's ever played Halo knows that the AR is much easier than the VR, so this guy has to be trolling. He says, four-shotting's so easy, and he does it 20 times a game. I doubt he's ever got 20 kills a game. Wow.
I think he meant to say he gets four-shotted 20 times.
Looking at his KD and his win-loss. Like, I don't know why they always throw in there. It's so funny hearing bad players argue that the BR is bad because it's easy. It's hilarious to me. Like, I'd love to see a game. Like, he can post game play and I'll watch it. I want to see a gameplay with him getting 20 kills and four-shotting with the BR 20 times a game. I dare him. Right, I'm gonna move on from that guy because he's giving me a headache.
Oh, let's see.
Let's go to page 2. I guess we'll finish on page 2. We got Ramirez here. He always posts a lot of smart stuff, but and then the waytards just follow up with more stupidity.
The Halo 5 AR is not the H1 AR, nor is it the Halo 3 AR or the H4 AR. It's got better range than any of them and put together and is no longer just a close-range weapon. Actually, that's not true. Even though it has slightly better aim, it's still a close-range weapon. You're gonna get, if you get into a medium-range fight with a BR user, you're taking your life into your own hands every time you do that, because you're relying completely on
the randomness in the spread. You're praying.
And 99% of the time, the BR user is going to knock you out of that aim down sight. And when he does that, your aim is going to go to crap and you're going to get destroyed every single time, making it still a close-range weapon first and foremost. It can be utilized at a medium range.
Well, here's the problem with the AR at medium range. Whether you win or not is random.
It's not a close medium.
At medium range, it's not who's more skilled that wins. It's pretty much who's more lucky, because neither player is probably going to miss with the AR with that fat reticle and with the sticky aim. It's just, does the spread go your way? And then plus the AR has headshot damage bonus, so that makes it even more random, because if those random bullets happen to go to the head, then you're going to win that engagement. Let's see, this guy has a 1.3 KD, and he hardly played any games of Halo 4, it looks like to here. He's got a 0 in CSR, so it looks like he played Halo 4 and then just stopped. That's not surprising, most people did. I don't know how to look at games other than Halo 4, because I'd like to see what he was in Halo 3, but I'm sure he's a staff captain. Alright, let's see what else we got here. This guy says at least BR start should be an option.
I'm reading this one by
more of Shinobi? You think we can handle more of Dark Shinobi? I think he's a troll.
I don't know. I'm going to read this post. Think about what you said carefully. The short-range AR kills the long-range BR, and the AR's effective range 0.3 seconds faster than the BR. It wins, but the AR user is left with no shield, so something so much as sneezed on the AR user, he dies. This would not be a problem if the AR could fight long range, but in reality it is barely past,
who is it,
it's on the second page, is barely effective in the first place at short medium range. See, he's basically, it's like the 4th or 5th post down. So he's basically saying what we're saying. It's not an effective medium range weapon. It's still short medium, and even at short medium range, its effectiveness is a toss of the dice. This means further that at medium range or further, it is useless to have on you. This is bad. This is sort of like the shotgun not being effective at close range, as ridiculous as
you're talking about the Ramirez post?
AR should not be limited to one. No, it's still Dark Shinobi.
Oh, I see.
Well, it's a response to him.
So he's not happy with the AR being a faster kill time than the BR. It's not enough for him.
Apparently not. You know, and he's.
Wait, hold on,
realize
because I
it,
hate to
but
interrupt you, but I just read that he thinks, what is, this can't be right. He wants to win a 1v2 fight with 2 BRs with an AR. Oh my god, 343, do not listen to this idiot. Is he serious? In what world should that happen? The game would have no skill gap.
A long-range weapon should never be at par at a close.
But see, here's the thing though. What makes it balanced is it's so much harder for a BR user to hit a person close range than it is an AR user. That should be obvious to anybody with the brain.
And the thing is, you know, you have a sniper rifle.
You shouldn't be able to no-scope close range. It's not fair.
Rifle should be able.
It's a long-range weapon.
Well, yeah, it shouldn't be effective at anything other than its intended use. It should. You know what? There should be a distance meter on your reticle, and if it is not outside of a certain distance, you should be able to fire your sniper rifle. Plain and simple. Same with the shotgun. If it's not within a certain distance, you shouldn't be allowed to fire it. Or if it's outside of a certain distance, you shouldn't be allowed to fire it.
Yeah, I'm tired of reading Dark Shinobi posts. He hurts my head. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna read one more from him, and then we'll wrap this up. It says, let's see. The AR should not have to work just as hard as the BR to win at the only range it can fight in. It doesn't. You don't have to. See, that's the thing. You don't have to work hard with the AR. What is he talking about?
If you're working
we're worse
hard
than
with
we
the
thought.
AR, clearly you're not using the AR. You're not using the AR in its intended range. If you have to work with the AR, guess what? You're probably not using it at the range you're supposed to be using it. The AR does not take work. You hold down the trigger and the bullets go flying. You barely even have to aim the thing to get the shots to connect. So I don't know what you're talking about when you say that you shouldn't have to work as hard. What does that even mean? Does that mean that you think that the AR should automatically just
guys, invite
melt
me.
things at medium range? Alan, shut up. We're doing something.
Alright, then he says the AR's entire
Invite
we're not
me.
playing. We're reading some forum posts.
But are you gonna play?
Alan, since you're
doing a
here,
video.
I'll let you
We'll play
contribute. Can you tell me in 2 sentences or less or more? Actually, just tell me why you think BR starts are better than AR starts.
Because everyone has the same.
So why is it better to spawn with a good weapon than a bad weapon?
Well, if you have a BR, it's mid-range to long-range, so it's easier to navigate the map.
So you
with
mean you
it,
don't just
and
camp with the BR since you have the best weapon?
Well, with the BR, I like to go get other
You mean you
weapons.
actually pick up other weapons? But I thought that there's no variety with BR starts.
Well, sometimes I even use the other weapons. I pick up.
Yeah, thank you very much. See? You didn't even have any idea what we're talking about, and you're a good player, and you repeated exactly what we said. Yeah, I think I'm done with this episode. Thanks for watching. I'm going to do these more often because there's a lot of stupidity on Waypoint, and somebody has to correct it. Somebody has to put their cape on and fight all this stupidity and beat it back into the ground. Any last words, Ruckus?
Put on the cape. Well, I can say that if things don't change, Halo is gonna be doomed. Well, it probably won't be doomed. It probably won't have a long-standing lifespan, long enough for it to kill itself.
That actually sounds like a good topic for next week's episode. Next week we're just gonna see the cycle repeat itself. I mean, that's honestly what it's not necessarily gonna kill the Halo franchise if this continues, but it is going to contribute to its. We'll read one last post.
Because it's a recognizable
This guy says
pattern
sometimes
at
I like
this
to
point.
pretend I'm MLG. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.